Hola, mi nombre es Ding Dong y soy del podcast desde el Nirvana que tengo junto con mis amigos Masacre y Orc, y es un podcast en español que trata acerca de todo lo que tiene que ver con la cultura pop, el entretenimiento, aquello que tiene que ver con la música también, porque nos encanta y la amamos, y también tiene que ver con cómics, películas, etc. Si a ustedes les interesan estos temas, recuerden que nos pueden ver en vivo en Twitch todos los viernes a las 6 de la tarde del tiempo de la Ciudad de México. Estaremos muy contentos de tenerlos por allá. Gracias por ver esta entrevista. Hi, I am Ding Dong from Desde el Nirvana podcast, a Spanish podcast that I have with my two friends, Orc and Masacre, and we discuss everything that has to do with pop culture, with entertainment, with movies, comic books, even music, because we like music very much. And if you like these topics and you also speak Spanish, you can find us live on Twitch every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time, that is also Mexico City time. We will be happy to have you there. Thank you for watching this interview. I think that it was two times that are important for me as to how I got to know Tolkien. Here in my country, in Mexico City, we had this special programming for children that had movies for the summer vacation. And they always showed these movies that were either not released in the theaters or that were very old and not everybody knew. And some of those films were The Hobbit, of course, that was my first Tolkien approach, and also The Last Unicorn and The Flight of Dragons. These three films got me interested in fantasy, and I read some things about fantasy like The Last Unicorn, and also I got into Dungeons and Dragons. As the time passed on, in the year 2000, I was studying English in a language center, and I met there an English teacher that was also enthusiastic about Dungeons and Dragons. And one day he talked about a book, well, three books that were called The Lord of the Rings. And I was curious and went looking for them in Spanish because I was still learning, but I couldn't find them. So I told him that they were difficult to find, and he told me that I had to wait until next year when they were going to have the first of three movies about the Lord of the Rings. And as the time for the movie got closer, we were going to have more and more books and merchandise with the Lord of the Rings. And as he predicted, yes, I saw the books and I got the three books all together in one go. And also I read all the three books before I went to watch the first movie. And I was so enthusiastic about it that I repeated the same thing for the next year, but I added The Hobbit also before watching The Two Towers. And then the following year after that one, I did exactly the same thing, but now I read The Hobbit also, and I added Unfinished Tales because there was a very beautiful Spanish edition of Unfinished Tales, and ever since I have been hooked up to Tolkien. I think that what resonates with me about Tolkien and his work are three very specific things. First, because I am a Catholic boy, because Mexico, and I think that all the population here is Catholic, we have some values that I can see reflected in the work. For example, I see there honesty, loyalty, responsibility. I see there also sacrifice, penitence, that are very important things for us as Catholics, and things that I saw since my very early childhood with my grandmother, with my mother. And I think that inspired a lot of identification with the work for me, because as Tolkien was also a Catholic author, I think that in a way he was speaking the same language that well, that all of us were familiar with here in Mexico. The other thing also was the landscapes, because the description is so exact and so precise that when I saw, for example, the Peter Jackson movies, I saw the landscapes and it was just like what I had imagined in my mind. It was exactly that, and I was so happy and so excited to see that someone had actually created something that I had imagined. It was incredible for me. And speaking about nature also, for me, nature has always been an important thing, and I have always felt connected to nature. So in my house here, I have the blessing of having a garden. It is a commodity nowadays because not everyone can have a garden in their house or the opportunity to have nature around. And here I have trees, I have plants, I have flowers, even vegetables. It's something really beautiful for me, and I think that I connect with Tolkien also on that level. The character that I like the most, I think that the character that I like the most is Gandalf, because of his wisdom, and I would like to be as wise as he is. With the time, with learning new things, I think that it's important to be intelligent, but also to be wise and to transmit this wisdom. But the character that I like to discuss a lot about, I think that it is Samwise Gamgee, because for me he is the hero of the story. Many people say that Frodo is the protagonist because he takes the ring to Mount Doom, and also many people complain that Frodo was not very useful because at the end, when he was there on Mount Doom, his energies failed and he couldn't throw the ring. He was overcome by evil. And I think that these people don't understand that evil was there because he had just finished with his strength, with his will. And with Sam next to him, he had the opportunity to complete his mission. If Sam hadn't been there, I think that Frodo wouldn't have finished his quest, but also maybe he would have taken possession of the ring, and there would have been ruin for all Middle Earth. So I think that Sam has a very important role, and I think that he is the real hero of the story. The adaptation that I consider more accurate to Tolkien, I would say that the Peter Jackson films, because even though he took a lot of liberties, and I don't like very much that of Elves in Helm's Deep and some other changes, I think that he did a very good job in trying to interpret Tolkien and to put there on the screen the things that Tolkien talked about and the themes that Tolkien has in his works, in his pages. So I think that the best adaptation is the Peter Jackson adaptation, and also because he really tried to follow the descriptions, to follow the characters, and I know some of the changes, I understand some of the changes that he made because it's a different medium. It's not the same telling a story on a piece of paper and on a screen in the theater. So I think that he did a very good job with what he had. I always thought that this was a titanic endeavor, but I think that he did a very good job. So I think that those are very good adaptations. What I think about Amazon and their idea that they are creating this for modern audiences or for accessibility, I think that they don't know what they are talking about, because this is a book that has been translated to more than 50 languages, and one of those languages is mine, my mother language, Spanish, but there are many others. So there is no gatekeeping or there is no lack of accessibility to this work, because you can buy the book in your language and read it, and it's okay. And I don't think that you need to see yourself represented in the work, because as I said in one of my answers, you can connect with it on a deeper level, like me, with the Catholicism and with the ideas and the precepts of Catholicism. And some people, especially those people that say, oh no, you have to see yourself there, or Tolkien is not very accessible for many people, I think that they are incorrect or they are ignorant. They don't know how many languages are now using Tolkien, or Tolkien is translated in these many languages. That gives you a lot of accessibility, and it gives you the opportunity to encounter this world and to fall in love with this world. And for me, it was also the opportunity to learn more about English, and that also helped me in my personal career. Now I am an English teacher thanks to reading Tolkien and wanting to read this in the natural language, in English. So I think that it's not true. There is accessibility to this. There is a lot of accessibility, but you have to find it. And the things that they are saying over at Amazon, they are not true. They are incorrect.
As ever, this is Salty Texas Sea. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.